So since I've been living here, I've become acquainted with all the trees on the land, and my landlord knows an awful lot about trees. His father worked with trees, so bit by bit I've been learning more and more about them. And I didn't have any idea that this was a walnut tree initially, but I've sort of started falling in love with it, I can say, because I think it's very special. I think it's got a very feminine energy to it. But on the outside you've got this quite pale bark, and you've got this extraordinary pattern as well, that the bark is, it reminds me of an Aran sweater with a sort of cable knit, huge big large cable knit. And it's just, I don't know, I just find it really appealing and beautiful, and also it's making these amazing shapes. It's leaning backwards, and it's sort of almost, you know, leaning towards the sun, I think, and looking across the fields. And I often come here, especially in the summer, I'll come here and I'll just sort of lean back against the tree. It's a great place to come and soak up the sunshine and the heat and just feel very, very relaxed. This is one of my favourite romantic artists from 1805 called Samuel Palmer. He made a series of exquisite ink drawings in sepia. His main subjects were trees and the pastoral. And you can see how incredibly versatile ink is as a medium. You can build up multiple layers, beautiful washes, and incredible amounts of detail. So I've made the walnut ink, and I'm now going to be using the very ink that's come from this magnificent walnut tree, and I'm going to make a drawing, a sort of Palmer-esque type ink drawing, just using the ink with various tools here. What's wonderful is I'm in the middle of the Cotswolds, and there is a direct link with the Romantics, the Pre-Raphaelites, the arts and crafts movement. We had William Morris just up the road in Cotswold. So it's all very appropriate for what I'm going to be showing you. So these are some of the tools that I'm going to be using. So a variety of beautiful brushes, hog's hair and squirrel, and I've even got some cheaper brushes that are quite good for applying large washes. I've also got a stick to draw with, which I've sharpened, and I've cut a little slit in it so that it will take up the ink. So I'll just do a little demo so you can see what these inks look like. So starting with just plain water, I'll just drop some water on like that, and then you'll start to see. So this is very pale. You can hardly see anything in there actually, but if you start adding beautiful delicate washes like that, okay, clean out the brush. So this has a little bit more ink in it, so you can see the difference like that. And this is the pure walnut ink, which, as you can see, it's got the most wonderful consistency. It's really thickened nicely. So when I drop that in, you can see how absolutely gorgeous that is. So, using the stick, you can draw back in and make beautiful, delicate, drawn marks like this. Quite sort of similar to Van Gogh. So this is how I'm going to be developing the drawing today, on a much larger sheet of handmade paper. If you have a look at the paper that I've chosen, This was made in Two Rivers Mill down in Minehead, and it's very thick watercolour paper. It's absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to begin by making just a large sort of wash, the basic shape of the tree really, and I'm going to let it dry, and then I'm going to come back and start developing it layer upon layer. So I've been laying lots of washes down, and I've drawn the structure of the tree mainly with a stick. So drawing in the way that Van Gogh drew, describing the form of the tree and the movement with lots of small marks with a stick. I think what I like about this is that it makes very random marks as well. So you don't necessarily control it in the way that you might do with an ordinary pen. And that makes it more interesting for me. So I've just spent the first day of spring drawing a walnut tree, and now it's your turn. So get in the zone, just relax, enjoy yourselves, and allow the movement of the ink to meander on the page, a bit like the clouds in the sky and the sound of the wind in the trees. If you've enjoyed today, then please visit my website www.FionaMcIntyre.com, where I run workshops, demonstrations and masterclasses, and I also give public talks. So thank you, I've enjoyed it too.